This past month has been relatively dry when it comes to market conditions and whatnot, and on top of that, my prop firm's down, so I guess that's good timing, at least. There are going to be dry spells like this throughout your trading career. I can tell you that for certain. Just times where your strategy doesn't hold up. Your setups may just get shot through, or just not appear at all. I know I myself have been through a couple times like this in the past, and it has led me to make irrational decisions, such as mainly forcing trades. When it comes to times like these, it is so important to stay disciplined. I know that word gets thrown around a lot, but I truly do mean it here. It may come to times like these, and you may feel like you are making no progress, as you're not actively placing positions. But the way I see it, there's always one thing that you can do to further improve how you see the markets. It's a place to test new strategies and new entry models that you are not confident enough with to take into the live markets yet, and is ultimately a place to see what winning setups look like through historical data. You know, stuff that's already happened. By the title, you have probably figured out that I'm talking about backtesting. Now wait, don't click off the video yet. I just want to talk about a few ways that I've taken my backtesting from relatively brainless, you know, scanning through prior markets at a fast pace, to just taking my time reviewing all setups and planning my entry models. Planning them ahead of time so I can see what would have actually happened and ultimately just backtest most efficiently. Otherwise, you aren't really learning anything. Now, just for a quick disclaimer, I am a liquidity supply and demand trader, so the setups that I show in this video are going to be using this strategy, but the concepts I will cover are most definitely universal to all backtesters. Alright, so for my first point, I just want to talk about pacing. So when you're backtesting, how fast are you going back through the markets, you know? Now, I know that backtesting can get pretty, I don't want to say boring, but definitely repetitive. I mean, in the live markets, there's rarely a 30-minute setup, low-key, and that's in 3 pairs. So just singling out one of them, the trade opportunities are going to be sparse, so they can be easily missed if you just start speeding through the markets. So I recently streamed backtesting, and if I'm honest, that's exactly what I was kind of doing. I didn't want it to be boring, the stream, that is. So what I was doing was, you know, like looking through the markets. Oh, there's no setup right now. Let me just hold down and speed through. And I mean, I'd usually go about that far, and that's already 2 days. So something that you're going to want to do if you find yourself, you know, like speeding up like this, is just slow down. Maybe go a candle every half second, that kind of like, especially when you see an entry or like a trade setup. Like here, there was a possible supply. I'm not really taking market, you know, conditions into this, so this isn't actually a valid trade. But if I was just holding down, entry comes so fast and you always miss it. And then once you're like, oh yeah, no, I would have taken that. That's very like early trading thinking, and you should be past that by now. You want to take your time, see entry. I mean, that's a very fast example, but like maybe before it's about to wick, just say, oh, on flip I would get in, on break of candle I would get in, or on the first candle close in the opposite direction I would get in. You can set your entry position and get an accurate reading of what would happen. Once again, just for the most efficient use of your backtesting time. Now, I'm not gonna lie, in that first section, I did mention a couple other things that I am gonna go through in this video. The second point I want to talk about in this video is how often trades actually occur. So every time that you get a setup in front of you, I want you to record that date in maybe like a journal or just on a notepad document, and then do the same for the next setup, and just see how often these trades actually do occur. You know, like what is the average date in between each one of these trades. This will allow you to get an accurate reading of how long you'd be waiting in the live markets. I mean, assuming that market conditions are the same as when you're backtesting. It's just that backtesting can give you the illusion that quite a few setups are formed in a short amount of time, but that is not the case. You are going through days upon like weeks of data in such a short amount of time that, yeah, it can warp your view on it. Once again, when you're backtesting, it's only going to be for one pair and one time frame. So trade frequencies, you know, like how often they come, will be different for other pairs. So make sure you note down which pair you are testing, just so you become more familiar with what you're trading. I think that's really important. Okay, so number 3 is you just need to be critical with your overall risk to reward gain. Be honest with what you would or would not have taken if you miss an entry and you see it going in your direction. More times than not, you just shouldn't count that into your risk to reward gain if you're noting that down, which I recommend you do as well. Like, I mean, this is hindsight, but say that we're coming down and you do something like that and you see it already going in your direction. Realistically, if you said, oh yeah, but I would have got in, like I mentioned this earlier, you can't really give yourself, you know, like the benefit of the doubt when you are trying to learn. That is the whole point in backtesting, is learning. And if you're lying to yourself when you're like not even in the live markets, then there are a plethora of problems that will occur when you're actually taking these entries, if that makes sense. So as opposed to coming all the way down here and then being like, oh yeah, but I would have entered, I don't even know, like here, then you're not even, this isn't actually like the right markup for the position, by the way, I'm just saying. You're not being truthful to yourself when you're already like well on the way to your take profit. You need to see the entry position from the start of the move and mark it up legitimately. Let's say your entry model says, like mine, break of candle or close in the opposite direction after the wick into the zone. You know, whichever happens first. If it breaks candle, but then comes down and gives a much better entry, you're gonna go off the break of candle. Maybe add another position when candle does close in your favor. But be honest, like you wouldn't hold out for that entry in the live markets. It's hard to explain, but I hope you actually like understand where I am coming from. Well guys, these were only a few of the things that I believe have propelled my backtesting to a point where I feel as if I am consistently getting value for the time spent. Now, I am going to be streaming backtesting more, so if that interests you, just join up my Discord and tell me that's what you want to see. Or don't be afraid to just leave a comment on this video. Another way you can get in touch with me is my Instagram. That'll be in my link tree down below. I'm still at a point where I'm like up to ideas in these videos, so tell me something that you think would provide value to you and I will do my best to cover that. There's a couple people in my Discord that are just new to trading. It's really good to see that they're using my server as a place to ask questions for more experienced people to just answer. I think that is what I'm trying to do with this entire channel. Just trying to journal my progress and provide value. That's it. I think that's all I really want to talk about. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, thank you. That means a lot. And yeah, I think I'll just see you in the next one, whenever that may be. I'm going to try and get some more live trades out for you guys now that my prop firm is coming back up, hopefully tomorrow or the day of this upload. So a lot of cool content on the way for you guys, and I'll see you later. Peace.